Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Mark of Athena, chapter 34, Annabeth. And oh man, this chapter was so good. I don't know why. I enjoyed this one. Might be one of my favorite chapters. Um, but it starts with Annabeth climbing down her rope. She gets into this canal, which is like a path that humans made for water to flow down. It's like a human made river or stream. And she's kind of looking around and she kind of thinks, oh my goodness, is this like a maze from Daedalus's maze? If you know the old story of the Minotaur, the guy that made the maze that the Minotaur was stuck in, his name was Daedalus. But she's like, oh, I can't think about that right now. I have to go down one of these ways. And she ties some of the kite string to her rope to kind of guide her back towards the exit. And she sees a Mark of Athena, and she goes towards the mark, and there's kind of this hole in the wall. She looks inside the hole, and there's she has to look down, but there's a altar, with a statue on top, and there's some paintings inside, and she looks down, sticks her head through the hole, and oh, I hope nothing bites my head off. Oh, okay, nothing in here. And she sees a bench down below. She's like, okay, so I can climb in, and I can climb out pretty easily. So she climbs into this altar room, and she can sees 7 pictures on the walls of different kind of scenes. She can see this altar of this guy holding up a torch and a dagger, and it kind of looks like he's sinking in the stone, which we'll learn later here. He's actually rising out of the stone. And then she's kind of looking around, and suddenly she starts hearing these voices. Okay? And this is where it starts to get good and really funny. She starts hearing these voices. Oh, a girl. Oh, a Greek. Oh, a Greek girl. Unacceptable. And all of these purple ghosts, which we know already are the Roman, I can't remember what they're called, but the Roman ghosts that were around the camp. Leguaries, lethargies, I don't know. But they start appearing. And Annabeth is like, whoa, what's going on? She backs away towards the exit, but it's all blocked, so she can't go that way. And she's kind of looking around, and these guys start to say things. Oh, she knows our secrets. She must die. And one really old one kind of comes out, and he's the pater, which is like the father, the head of this cult. A cult is like a small religious group. It can be like a weird, creepy, crazy, scary cult, or it can just be a new religion that's really small. If you think about Christianity, for example, Christianity started off as a cult. They would call it like a Jewish cult, because it was just a small group of believers until it grew out more and more and more. And that's actually what it was referred to until now. It's one of the dominant religions in the world. But in this case, this cult was this group of followers of Mithras, who I guess was a little popular in the Roman times for the soldiers. But anyways, so this pater starts talking to Annabeth and saying that she's going to die, and that she has to choose an ordeal. She has to choose a test of a dagger or fire. Now, while this is going on, Annabeth's mind is just freaking out. She's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. What's going on? But she tries to be calm. She tries to be confident. And she's looking around using her intelligence. And she's looking at the pictures on the wall. And she's starting to guess and understand the secrets of this Mithras cult. Which Mithras is like a god of secrets. And so they want to really keep their secrets. And she starts to guess some of their secrets. And she's like, I know you. You are the cult of Mithras. And they're like, oh, how did she know? And she's like, you have 7 levels. And you are the father. You are the leader of the levels. And all of the ghosts are like, oh, she knows our secrets. And Annabeth is like, I am a child of Athena. You have no secrets from me. And they're like, oh. So this is so funny, the reactions going on here, which is why it's one of my favorite chapters. I was just laughing so hard as Annabeth starts guessing and hoping she's right about these different secrets of this cult. And whenever she says something, the ghosts are like, oh, how do you know this? And so they're like, Annabeth tells them, she's like, I am the mater of the Athena followers. And they're like, oh. And she's like, no, I'm the magna mater. I'm the top, the only, the highest mother in the Athena cult. And they're like, oh. And they're so freaked out right now. And Annabeth, she tells the father, she walks up to him, and she's like, you have 2 ordeals, right? These are tests. The ordeal of fire, which it looks like all of her siblings died, or the ordeal of daggers. And they're like, how do you know that? And she's just looking around, right? Observing what's happened. And these guys are so funny. And Annabeth is just thinking like, oh man, these guys are so dumb. If they would just open their eyes and look at everything, all their secrets are right here. But she says, but there is a 3rd trial. And they're like, what are you talking about? The trial of stone. And I have already defeated this trial, and I have emerged from stone like Mithras. And they're like, the other ghosts are like, oh! But the father, right, the leader is, oh, you did not emerge from stone. You have no power here, child of Athena. And then it's so funny because Annabeth is like, I have the power of stone. And like Mithras, I can control stone. And they're kind of looking at her, and she's like, I can make this altar room crumble with 1 strike. And now they kind of feel pressure to test her, because if they let her go, they'll be cowards. The father does mention like, oh, we can't let you pass. The this woman, right? She said that she'll give us tribute if we don't let any children of Athena pass, which they haven't. They've killed a bunch of them, and they've gotten a lot of special gifts or gold or things like that from this person we don't know about yet, which we have already guessed is the Spider Mother. But in any case, Athena gets Annabeth gets challenged, and the Pater's challenged, and so Annabeth takes her sword and she just looks at the structure of the room, because it looks like this place is about ready to crumble. And she can see this one part where it looks like is the strong point. Everything else looks like it's about ready to crumble, but it's holding together in this one spot. And if Annabeth broke this spot, everything would start to crumble, and she knows right where it is. And luckily, she can reach high enough to get it. So she takes her sword, and as she hits this spot, her bronze dagger goes, whew, and it just shatters. She says like a sugar cube. So if you imagine a cube of sugar being hit with a hammer, poof, just exploding, and nothing happens. And all the ghosts start to laugh at her until suddenly everything starts to fall apart. And Annabeth runs towards the wall, and she pushes right through it. It crumbles, and she falls into nothingness. And that is how the chapter ends. But oh man, I just loved the interactions with Annabeth and the ghost. It was so funny, and it was just so good. Like just seeing her brain work was really exciting. Okay, vocabulary. There's a bunch of them. Archetypal. means like most common, or what you think of naturally. If I said, what do American people eat? You have a picture in your mind. That's an archetype. Archetypal is a adjective. What do Japanese people eat? You have a picture in your mind, right? What do people from Africa eat? You have a picture in your mind, okay? Different things like that. What sports do Korean people play? Okay, you have this, right? Archetypal. Capstone is like a stone placed on top of something. It could have a decoration. It could just be a rock. If you think of like Stonehenge, there's a stone and another stone on top to kind of help balance it as a capstone. In this altar room, there's a capstone with the weight of the ceiling pushing down on it, and the capstone is all cracked and looks like it's about ready to fall apart. Frieze, this is like if you think about a wall, and at the top of the wall, there's usually some kind of decoration. Okay, I'd recommend you can Google any of these words really easily, and you can just see some images. But you can imagine like the wall kind of comes out a little bit. Maybe it has some ripples. Maybe it has some designs and figures and kind of decoration. That's a frieze. Frill, or frilled, if you imagine like Shakespeare, okay, Shakespeare has this like collar coming out of his shirt, so, I can kind of pop it up, okay, and that's kind of a frill, kind of fluffing and pulling out. And one of the gods, the skeletons, has like a burnt skull, and the uniform is all covered in burnt, like it was a fire. Inexcusable, which means there is no excuse. There is no reason that can be accepted. Arthritis, that's like old people when their bones hurt, when they've used their bones maybe too much, and they're like, they always have this pain from their bones because they use them too much. Arthritis. Shepherd's crook, that's like a staff that a shepherd would use. Excuse me, sorry. Long and maybe curved at the end. Okay, that's a shepherd's crock. Sacrilege is, I love this word, meaning against your religion, against your sacred parts. I'm trying to think. Imagine, okay, they have this altar, and that's always where they put their special food for their god, okay? Well, if you went to that altar and you sat on it, okay, you would be changing their special place to a kind of a chair, right? So that would be sacrilege. You would be changing the special thing into a not special thing, or changing it to a bad thing or opposite thing. And Annabeth says something, and they're like, sacrilege! There's more. Supplanted means taken out and put somewhere else. So Mithras was one of the gods that helped supplant, take Athena out of Athens and take her somewhere else. Gleaned is like learned. I'm trying to think, like, gleaned can also be like learning very surface from the top, of just kind of gathering quickly and learning. And Annabeth is certainly, they say, she's gleaned our secrets, she's learned our secrets, which she has by guessing from their altar room. Ordeals is like a trial or a test. Deduction is to guess the answer from looking at things. If you think of like algebra, okay, x plus 7 equals 14. Okay, looking at this information, we can deduce, we can find the answer of x, which would be 7 in this case. 7 plus 7 equals 14. Sherlock Holmes is the master of deduction. He can look around and see, and from this information find the truth or guess the truth. And that's what Annabeth was certainly doing. She did a great job. implode. If you think of explode, implode, going in on itself. So the altar room collapses. It implodes and comes together. Yeah, all right. Discussion question. So the pater asks Annabeth, choose the ordeal of fire or dagger. Now, let's imagine we're not nearly as smart as Annabeth, okay? What would you choose? Would you choose to do a test of fire? Or would you choose to do a test of dagger? We don't know what would happen, right? We can guess based on the bones, but from those two choices, which would you choose? Or maybe something else too, right? If you have a different idea. Don't steal Annabeth's, but if you have a different idea, you can share that too. Of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.